Good day, everyone. Today I'm going to discuss two topics. First, I'm going to discuss about the mean value theorem for definite integrals. Then this will be followed by the difference between the value of the definite integral and a total area.
So here are the two topics, the mean value theorem for integrals, and the second one, which is the difference between the value of the definite integral and a total area. So to understand more on each topic, we have here examples. But first, we have to discuss this one first. So what is a mean value theorem for integrals? Now, as you can see, the theorem states that if f is a continuous function on a closed interval a and b, then at some point c in a closed interval a and b, then this equation holds, meaning f of the value for f of c is equal to this. Now, what is f of c? By just looking at this geometric interpretation, suppose we have a function y is equal to f of x, and the graph of the y is equal to f of x is this one. Then we have closed interval a and b. So that means a function is continuous on a closed interval a and b. Then at some point, let's say c, okay, in between a and b, okay, then f of c, the value of f of c, which is the average height, is given by this, okay, which is equal to 1 over b minus a times the integral of the given function evaluated from a to b. Okay, so what is f of c? This is the mean value or the average value of what? Of the given function, given also the interval. So all we have to do is just to familiarize. If we cannot memorize the formula, so we have to familiarize the formula for the mean value of the given function. So we have here some examples. First is find the mean or the average value of the function f of x is equal to x squared plus 2 over the interval 1 and 3. So how can we get the mean value of the function f of x equal to x squared plus 2 given this interval? So simply follow the formula for the mean value. So this is given by a and b, which stands for the average value. This is equal to in earlier we have discussed that the formula is 1 over b minus a. And since our b is 3 and our a is 1, so we just simply substitute 3 minus 1, then times the integral of the given function. And in this case, our given function is x squared plus 2. So x squared plus 2, then we use the lower limit and the upper limit. The lower limit is 1 and the upper limit is 3. Then evaluate the integral. So simplify 1 over 3 minus 1, which is 1 half, and the integral of this, or find the antiderivative, which is equal to x cubed over 3 plus 2x, then evaluate this one from 1 to 3. Okay, using the first fundamental theorem of calculus, we just simply substitute the upper limit to the variable. So we have 3 cubed, which is 27 over 3, plus 2 times 3, which is equal to 6, minus, simply substitute 1 to this variable. So we have 1/3 plus 2 times 1, which is 2. Then simplify. So by simplifying, we have 27 divided by 3, which is 9, plus 6, which is 15, minus, so 1/3 plus 2, this is equal to 6, 6 plus 1, which is 7 over 3. Then simplify. So we come up with this answer, which is the average value of the given function, given the interval 1 and 3 is equal to 19 over 3, which is also equal to 6.33. So that is our mean value of the given function, and over the interval 1 and 3. So the technique is just to follow the formula. Okay, so here this time we are going to get the difference or find the difference between the value of a definite integral and a total area. So how? So suppose we have this problem, find the mean or the average value of the function f of x is equal to sine x over the interval 0 and 2 pi. So sine x, what's the graph of sine x? So how to find the mean value? By just looking at the graph of sine x, this is the graph of sine x from the interval 0 to 2 pi. As you can see, here is there is an area of this region and also the area of this region. So by finding the mean or the average value, we can simply use the integral, or by finding the integral of sine x dx evaluated from 0 to 2 pi. So what is the antiderivative of sine x? We have negative cosine x. Then we evaluate that one from 0 to 2 pi. Then applying the first fundamental theorem of calculus. So we have negative cos time of 2 pi minus negative cosine of 0, which is equal to, so what is negative cos of 2 pi? So 2 pi, the value of that is equal to 1. So we have negative 1. While negative of cosine 0 here is 1, and there is negative, so that's why we have negative 1. Then simplifying this one, we come up with the answer 0. Okay, so what is 0? This is the value of the definite integral. Now, this is 0 because from here, computing the definite integral, we have a positive value here. And the value of this, the integral, in this case, is negative. So if we are going to uh, add it up together, so we come up with a value which is negative 1 plus 1. So it's 0. Now, negative 1 here, the negative value, okay, the value which is negative in the definite integral, which means that the area is below the x-axis. So the negative, so it doesn't mean there's a negative area. So this is only mean that the area of the region is located below the x-axis. Okay, so that's the value of the definite integral. And looking at this height also, the height of this is 1, and the height of this is also 1. Okay, but again, this is below the x-axis. That's why the area canceled out. So, but if we are asked to find the total area, what is the total area? Okay, so here, getting the total area of the given function over this interval, simply get the integral of sine x dx 0 to 2 pi. Okay, now actually the answer of this is different from this one because we are considering the total area. So all we have to do to get the total area, meaning we have to add this area, okay, to this area. Now, how to add? Using the additivity property, meaning we integrate this one from 0 to 2 pi, and since we know that 0 to 2 pi is just equal to 0 to pi and pi to 2 pi. Okay, so we use the additivity property. So that means 0 to 2 pi, 0 to pi. So we integrate this one as sine x, integral of sine x dx, okay, from 0 to pi. Supposed to be, it should be plus, diba? Plus the integral of this sine x dx from pi to 2 pi. But again, since we are talking about the area which is below the x-axis, so this becomes negative. Okay, so here, simplifying the expression or equation, we have what is the antiderivative, again, is negative cosine. So negative cosine x evaluated from 0 to pi minus negative. So there is negative cosine x evaluated from pi to 2 pi. Then simplify this one, negative cosine pi minus cosine of 0 minus, okay, minus, so this one, minus cosine of 2 pi minus of cosine pi. Then simplifying that one, what's the answer? Again, negative cosine pi. Cosine pi is what? Cosine pi, we have, what's the value? Negative 1. Okay, then negative 1 multiplied by negative, it's positive 1. And this one, cosine 0 is 1 times negative is negative 1 plus 1. So this one, negative 1 plus 1, so the whole expression will be 0. So we only consider this part here. So negative cosine 2 pi, the value of cosine 2 pi is what? It's 1, right? But there is negative here, so that's why we have negative 1. So this is negative 1. And cosine pi, again, cosine pi, the answer of cosine pi is negative 1 times negative, it's positive. Okay, so positive and times negative, you have negative 1. So simplifying the expression or the equation, have 4. Okay, so the answer of the total area or our total area of the given function, meaning the total area, this area plus this area, is equal to 4. And by just looking at the graph, the area of this is 2 plus the area of this is 2, because we have to consider the absolute value of negative 2 since we are talking about area. So 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Okay, so the value of the definite integral is 0 and the total area is 4. Again, it's 0 because the area here is below the x-axis, so this will be cancelled out if we are considering the lower limit, which is 0 to 2 pi. But if you want to get the total area, we have to use the additivity property. So this is how we do this. Okay, so these are the examples on how to find the mean value of the given function and also the total area. So thank you so much. Hope you like this video, and do not forget to share the learning that you've got from this video. Thank you once again, and God bless.